Welcome to the Aaron L. Show. We're going to give an update on Atlanta artist PeeWee Longway. Him and 100 of his associates have just been arrested on Rico charges. They have a lot of things inside this indictment. This is an Atlanta-based rapper. Come out the same area as Young Thug that's on the YSL Rico charge right now. And these are some more guys hit with another Rico out of Atlanta area. And these guys has to understand that, man, the feds is on Atlanta. They on Atlanta tough. They trying to clean out Atlanta because I believe that, the federal government, you have to understand one thing, how they operate, is that when you start blowing up in a certain area and multiple artists start blowing up in this area, the federal government start to realize that the more money that comes to these artists that are all from this one area, the more money and the more ability they have to fund a criminal organization, and it starts becoming a hotbed to where the feds are watching. These dudes have to understand, yeah, you moving and doing your thing and you making bread. But one thing about the feds, you can't never tell when they watching you, man. They move so calculated that, you live in life and you moving at a fast pace, but they slow everything down and they watch every move you make. So rapper PeeWee Longway, been in the game a long time. I've heard of this dude, heard a lot of his music. I never thought he really had himself involved in nothing, because if you think about it, there's been Rico charges and everything coming out of the state that he's from, but you never heard this guy's name attached to none of it. But now they have PeeWee Longway caught in a big Rico sweep with about 100 people. I'm pretty sure he don't know all these guys. Probably don't have a clue of who some of these guys are. But he's tied into this somehow. Now, the reason why he's probably tied into this, because he's an associate of some of these people. He's probably frequented some of these guys. But, shout out to Seti Nash. He stated that he went over the indictment. He don't really see where PeeWee Longway name is attached to any charges. It's stating that a lot of those guys are facing life. This guy's facing 10 years. They're giving all their names. They basically have a lot of people attached to charges, but you don't see PeeWee Longway name attached to charges. Now, do that mean that he's not going to be charged with anything? No, it does not, because the feds, once they give you a Rico charge, that covers a wide range of things. And that's the messed up part, the way the feds work, is that it covers such a wide range of things. They can figure out a way to tie you into this case. That's why they do things like Rico, conspiracy. A conspiracy could just mean we know you sell dope. We saw somebody that you were with sell dope to this other guy, and we just gonna say that was your dope, and now you tied in on the conspiracy. And the dude who sold the dope, you probably never gave him anything. But this is the way the feds work. They gave themselves loopholes to even catch guys that they really don't have no evidence on. This is how the feds operate. So you really don't want to get on their radar. Once you on their radar, they figure you doing something. Even if you so sharp, they can't even pinpoint what you're doing. You can have an associate of yours that's slipping. They can tell what he's doing, and then you and him meet up, and y'all constantly in a car together, this, that, or the third, and now you tied in on a Rico. And you don't touch nothing. You probably just the money. You don't meet up when they going to get the work. You're not there when they selling the work. You're not there doing anything. They don't even see when you get your little money on the back end off of it. But at the same time, the way the feds work, you could just be meeting these dudes at the club, hanging with them, these your dogs. You get a little bit of paper on the back end, but you really ain't doing nothing with them like that to what they're doing. But they going to tie you into this case. So they haven't formally charged PeeWee Longway with anything, but he definitely was caught in that sweep. Now, was he caught in the sweep because he's just an associate of somebody that was hot? It's a possibility. We don't really know that, but we know that he got caught in the sweep, and they're saying that this case, all the people that they caught, they have $280 million worth of dope. That's a lot of dope. That's a lot of dope. And then they're saying that sources on the internet are stating that some of those people that's caught up in this Rico have cartel ties. So now we see where, if this is true, we see where this mass amount of dope came from. So one of these cats got the Mexican line, and they've been doing their thing for a while. They got on the Fed's radar, and now these boys done got knocked. You know what I mean? And I'm not for sure if they're all based in Atlanta or it's either a few other states tied into this case. But PeeWee Longway, rapper out of Atlanta, just got caught in on a Rico charge with 100 associates. I'm not even for sure if he probably know any of these guys. He could be sitting in custody right now just trying to figure out how the hell did he get tied into this. He could be doing music only, and they could just have him tied in this and picked him up, and he's not the guy they were looking for. You know, he just a face. He just has an image. And sometimes they assume because the way you carry yourself, you involved in illegal activity, and some of these guys could have a clean name and have a, you know, they're not really doing what you think they're doing. The feds could be assuming. But one thing about the feds, they hate to be wrong. So whether they wrong or right, they can tie you into this Rico charge with just a little information. You know what I mean? You could have gave a dude a pound of weed. You know, this your partner. You ain't even charge him. He took that pound of weed and went and sold it to somebody else, and now you tied into the Rico because you basically gave it to him. They'll call that what? Funding a criminal organization. You know, something like that. Conspiracy. You know, these are the things that the feds do to give themselves a loophole to arrest people that they really don't have no evidence on. You know, and then what you gonna do? They got 100 cats up in there. They tell you, hey, you on a Rico charge. Let's say they tell PeeWee Longway, look, you facing 20 years, you on a Rico. PeeWee like, man, look, check this out. I have not done anything. I'm not taking on 20 years. But when you think about it, all we need to take is another dude who facing 30, have him get on the stand and state that you were selling him dope all the time, and now PeeWee got a dub. This dude facing 30 just got 5 for telling, and PeeWee gone. So the feds know how this works. So 9 times out of 10, when you get caught up on these charges, you hoping somehow they can sift through all the evidence and realize that they need to exonerate you and let you out because you're not the person they thought you were, or they gonna move forward with a Rico, a conspiracy, funding a criminal organization, something like that. And then they got 100 dudes on the back end that probably don't want to sit down, and it don't take but one of them to get on the stand, point the finger at you. They gonna get lesser time, and then you about to go to the feds for a 30 piece. So it's like, you know, you do not want to get caught up in something like this. Whether PeeWee Longway name is clean, because Seti Nash, shout out to Seti Nash, he said he don't see PeeWee Longway name nowhere in the indictment. But we know from past history, the feds will tie you into something that I mean, some way, somehow, he's involved in it. They would not have picked him up without having some type of information on something he's doing. Now, did they catch him red-handed or anything? Probably not. When they ran up in PeeWee Longway crib or wherever they caught him at, did they find anything in there? Probably not. Probably could have found a pistol, probably could have found some paraphernalia. We don't know. But what we do know is you caught up in this case. Somehow they linked you to these dudes. So now it's up to you and your attorney to get you off of this. But if they gonna move forward and formally charge PeeWee Longway, then we already know from the documents they got 100 guys tied into this. It don't take but one to get on the stand and convict you. You know what I mean? So you got to be very careful when you're dealing with a crowd of people. You got some bread. Y'all moving real mean. You know a couple of your partners in the circle you rock with be getting down. You probably not getting down, but it's not hard to assume you are by the company you keep. You know, it looks like y'all getting down, and then he's getting down for sure. You know he getting down, but you don't do no business with him. So you just like, that's my dog. He be moving his whatever. You know what I mean? But at the same time, when he get caught up because y'all are his associates, they're going to grab all of y'all and call it a Rico case. Conspiracy, running a criminal organization, trafficking, all these things carries a wide range of ways they can put you on these charges. So we're going to do an update on PeeWee Longway. I'm just doing my first video on this case. Hate to see that brother get caught up on a Rico charge, but we know Atlanta hot. You know, little baby, he's been staying out the way. I thought PeeWee Longway was out the way. I thought Young Thug and the YSL Rico was going to be the last thing coming out of Atlanta. The DA did say they was going to have more things to come. They grabbed a little small group that wasn't really public names like that, so that kind of went up under the rug. But now we have another prominent Atlanta artist, PeeWee Longway, out of Atlanta, caught with 100 guys with $280 million worth of drugs and evidence, and he's tied into this somehow. Haven't been formally charged, but we definitely going to update when we get more information. This is the Aaron L. Show. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back at you.